Hey guys, my name is JC with 559 Mobile Detailing. And today I'm gonna show you my detailing truck setup.
All right, JC, for people that don't know, how long you been in business?
I've been in business for roughly about 2 years.
And is this your first setup?
Yes, this is my first official setup.
How did you start? Like this, or did you build to it?
I started with a big water tank in the back of my truck and pulling out my pressure washer, pulling out my vacuum, and pulling out all my chemicals, and started from the bottom.
What was the biggest inconvenience with doing it that way?
I think the biggest inconvenience for me was getting to a location and taking 15-20 minutes just to set up.
Hey, yeah, it's time to it, huh?
Yeah, it definitely takes some time away from the detail where you could be focusing on something else, on cleaning out the vehicle instead of setting up all your equipment and getting everything situated with that.
And then when you were done, did you have to put everything back?
Yeah, of course. As soon as we got done, that was the worst thing. As soon as I got done with the detail, if it's a long detail, I will still have to put away my pressure washer, put away my generator, and put all the stuff that I got out back in the truck.
So, what did you do to speed that up or to change it up?
I first started working on my setup by changing the water tank. So the water tank that I had before was a little bit overkill. We got a 100-gallon water tank and it left me a lot more space to work with.
What'd you have at first?
I had one of those big-ass water tanks.
The ones the farmers use?
Yeah. So when I first started, like I said, I started with nothing. So we just started, as long as we had some water in my truck, that was the only thing I was worried about.
Got it. Now let's talk about equipment.
Okay.
What do you have right there?
So right here we got a 3400 generator. This generator is super quiet. It works great. It has all my tools working properly. There's never no shortage on power. This thing could power anything that I have back here.
And I see a couple hose reels.
Yeah, so this is my pressure washer hose reel. This is a 50 feet pressure washer hose reel. Super easy to work with. You just pull it out. When you're done, you just retract it back into place.
And how come you have two?
This one right here, it goes to my air compressor. So this is when we use the Tornador. This is what we attach to right here. This is also 50 feet as well too.
God. Have you ever been in a situation where 50 feet wasn't long enough?
For me, 50 feet is long enough. I'm not gonna park across the street. I'm not gonna park a block away. 50 feet is enough. Is long enough for me to be able to knock out a detail.
All right, man. Now let's talk about the pressure washer.
Yep. So my pressure washer, we got a gas pressure washer, and this is a new pressure washer that I got on my setup. It's working great, but we're definitely gonna do an upgrade on the pressure washer.
You actually said the last one kind of gave out on you?
Yeah, so my last pressure washer was a Honda pressure washer, and it gave out on me in the middle of the detail.
When that happened?
This happened a few months back, before we started working together.
Hey, when something like that happens, in the middle of the detail, your equipment gives out on you, what do, bro? You panic? Do you call someone?
Okay, so when this happened, when this went out on me, in the middle of the foam process. So the vehicle was foamed down, it went out, and it did not turn back on. So what I had to do is I had to fill up my bucket with water from the client's water hose, and I just rinsed the vehicle off and continue with the detail. All right, guys, has an equipment ever gave out on you guys? What did you do in that situation? Drop it down in the comments down below.
All right, man. And then what else you got back there?
Right here, we also have the rigid shop vac that's on the side of my water tank, and it is connected to a vacuum hose reel.
God. Hey, just asking, is this enough power, or do you feel it just does the basics?
This vacuum gets swapped out every 3 months, so it's a new vacuum every 3 months. So when you have a vacuum hose reel, you need the vacuum to be working as strong as it could be working. So the vacuum has to get swapped out every 3 months for the filter and anything in the vacuum not to be getting clogged up, and so it could be working how it's supposed to.
Got it, man. And then, what do you got back there, the air compressor?
Yeah, so this is connected to my air hose reel. This is a 2-gallon air compressor. The only reason why I didn't go with a bigger air compressor is because I don't have enough space to fit a bigger one in here. This still gets the job done. It still powers up the Tornador. It still powers up my spray gun, and it still gets the job done.
Now, there's some things I don't see. For example, an extractor. Do you have one?
Yeah, so I do have an extractor. The extractor is not in the back of my truck. The extractor is inside my vehicle.
Oh, okay. And what else do you have in there?
I can show you guys around if you like. Yep.
And just so people know, is this a personal car or strictly business?
This is my business car. I mean, I do use it sometimes whenever I need the truck, but this mainly stays with my setup, and this is just to be able to get the job done right here. And before we continue, I want to give a huge shout out to Ray as an entrepreneur. If you need any help growing your detailing business or any type of business, please hit him up. His info is down below. All right, so whenever we do need the extractor, we do have an extractor. We rock with the 1080 Mighty Light. This extractor is a heated extractor and it works magic.
Got it. And I see a whole bunch of chemicals in there?
Yeah, so this is the main chemicals that we use throughout any detail, but whenever we need something else, we definitely got something else for backup.
Now, because you're driving with limited space, limited chemicals, what happens when you run out of a type of chemical?
So whenever the spray bottles get empty, we do have smaller size to be able to refill on any of our chemicals. So we just carry around the most common chemicals. So anything that we're using on a daily basis, that's what we carry on extra as well too, just in case we run out.
Got it. And now a lot of people are gonna wonder, how much did you spend on this?
This setup, I really haven't added it up, but I know it's for sure at least a couple $1,000s on equipment wise.
And is all of this new, used, refurbished?
All my equipment, when I first started off, I started off with used equipment, but as I slowly started growing, I slowly started getting new equipment and equipment that I needed more on the daily basis on the details.
What's one of the worst things about buying used equipment?
The worst thing about buying used equipment is that it could work for a couple days and the next day it might not turn on.
So would you advise new detailers not to do that or just to give it a shot?
I advise any detailers, I mean, you always got to get started however you can. So even if it is with a couple used items, as long as you get to starting, that's what matters right there.
Hey, where'd you buy it from? Facebook, Craigslist?
I bought it when I first started detailing. I did buy a couple of things off of Facebook Market. I mean, I already had a bunch of tools laying around my house, so I just put everything together, and as I started my business, I started upgrading everything that I needed on my vehicle. What I want to know is, do I have everything I need in my setup, or am I missing something? Drop it down in the comments down below.
Yo, JC, I don't see a steamer, bro. You don't use a steamer?
We do use a steamer. I bring it inside the vehicle. I don't have it on me right now, but we bring it whenever it's needed. All right, guys, and let me know, what did you guys buy used and how did it work for you guys? Down in the comments down below. All right, guys, and this is how I come to all my details. This is my detailing setup, and let me know what you guys are using for your setup. Drop it down in the comments down below. And if you want to see more detailing content like this, like, subscribe, and follow us on Instagram.